part 2 of this very interesting episode which we are shooting about what we were talking about last time was the people who have been a very important part of this book. I did it my way. Manju Ramanan, who is the author of the book, and Gaggan, who has been a voiceover and anchored all my shows, and a very, very dear friend and younger brother to me. And today, why I decided to do another episode or continue that episode was there's a lot more that we can talk about and discuss about and probe about. I would call it a probe about Manju's and Gaggan's lives and their journey. And Manju, let's start with you. We came up to, I think last time we talked about how you got your job with Filmfare. Let's continue from there, your job in Filmfare in India.
Okay, so I joined the Times of India first before Filmfare of Feminine happened. So I was with the Times of India, so the Baroda Times. I was there with them for 5 years. And in that time, we did a lot of telephonic interviews with Bollywood stars because Baroda is a small town, so Bombay was... So a lot of stars I first got introduced through their voices, not actually. And some of them would come. So that's my 5 years, and that's when I met my husband, my child was born, all those 5 years. Then I moved to Femina in Ahmedabad, which was 2 years in Femina. And then I came to Dubai around 2008, 2009. That's when I came to Dubai with a job.
I'd like to stop you here a little bit. Let me tell you another connect which you know about, is that my uncle, Mr. J.C. Jain, was the general manager of Times of India. My mama.
Coincidence.
What a coincidence. Was my mama. And you know J.C. Jain, everybody knows J.C. Jain. He's the one who instituted and started the Filmfare magazine,
and the
Femina, and the Screen, and the Lord Illustrated Weekly of India. A man of great charisma and a great administrator.
Right.
And he at one time was really called the kingmaker of Bollywood. He could make or break stars.
Right.
I mean, that's the kind of power that he wielded with his one magazine, Filmfare. That was the only magazine which spoke about Bollywood. And he had a great vision. And I'm talking as a child now, when I used to see him as a child. And as I grew up, he had a very thin voice and always wore a suit. And he had an editor called Gulshan Ewing.
Who was the editor of Femina?
Who was the editor of Femina and Filmfare for some time. But she was mainly editor of Femina, but she was also running Filmfare. She was boss number 2 at that time. And she was also a woman with great vision and brought Filmfare or Femina to where it is today. And fortunately, I was very closely associated with both of them. And I've seen it as I grew up, so I know where it's coming from. Now when Jain Saab, Jain uncle I called him, instituted the Filmfare Awards, which was again his brainchild, which is even the most popular award even today. I remember going to the first Filmfare Award as a child and sitting in front at Shanmukhanand Hall. And I think after that I went for every Filmfare Award as long as he was there. So my association with Filmfare, with Times of India has been, so maybe it's some kind of a connection that you were also.
I believe there's one more, which is what we've not spoken about much, but it is true. During my course, when I was with the Times of India for 5 years in Baroda, I helped save a Jewish graveyard from being encroached.
Okay.
And I worked with a lot of Indian Jews. That's how I know so much about the Jewish culture.
Yeah.
And then you are half Jew.
Yeah, I'm half Jew. My mother was Jewish.
So there is more than just that connection, because I am closely associated with they call the Bene Israelis.
Yes, we were also, my mother was also Bene from
Yes, so that was a stark thing when I saw that.
So the connection, that's how the connection became deeper and more personal, and we bonded together very well. So let's continue with your journey from Filmfare.
So I moved when I came to Dubai in 2009. I worked with a company called Sterling Publications, and we did coffee table books on royal families. That's how I've done 5 coffee table books.
Okay.
On Sheikh Sakar, one of the founding fathers of the UAE.
Okay.
So he is Sheikh Saud's father.
Okay.
He was alive, and at that time he was the longest reigning ruler in the world after the King of Thailand.
Oh.
And I have a book on him.
Okay.
And the beauty is that I was doing that book, he was ailing. He was not available to meet. But I constructed the king's stories through narratives of other people.
Okay.
And built up his character. So that's one book that I hold dear. Then, of course, Filmfare happened. I joined Filmfare, I think the same time Gaggan was, he and I probably met during that time.
Okay.
Because I had started Filmfare and he had just started radio. And it was, I think, started together around the same time. And it was initially very good. It used to belong to a company called Saffron Media Works. Unfortunately, after a few years, the owners decided to abscond. More than that, it was a big blow because I was the editor for Filmfare and Femina for the Middle East. I was a group editor. And suddenly one day, I don't have a job, I don't have a throne, nothing is there. So...
you didn't get paid your salary for so many months.
I wasn't paid 45. Okay, let's not... that's another big loss that happened. But then on that year, I could do many things. And then, of course, Mr. Rizwan Sarjan the next year called me. We spoke and he said, "Can you bring this back?" I said, "Okay."
So Rizwan Sarjan bought over Filmfare Middle East, took over Middle East.
So I connected Mr. Deepak Lamba, because I already knew the team.
Yeah.
I called up Deepak Lamba, who was the CEO of Worldwide Media, and I told him, "Would you like to start this magazine again? I have another sponsor." He says, "Yes, I'd like to come." And he came to Mall of the Emirates, one of the hotels there, I think. Kempinski or one of them. And I went to pick him up. I picked him up and took him to meet Mr. Rizwan.
Okay.
That's how they met. And then the golden handshake happened. Actually, I was not there. I was in India. And on my birthday, which was around 2018, Mr. Rizwan's office calls me. I was in Pondicherry. He calls me and says, "Extend your trip. We are meeting in Bombay to sign the papers." So Mr. Rizwan Sarjan and Mr. Madhu came, and I went from Pondicherry to Bombay, and we sat waiting for Mr. Lamba was 4 hours late.
No.
And we were like, we were like, what is this? Why is he not here?
That's the story of your life. Your very first interview with them. I think that follows you. Yeah.
Yes. So that's how Filmfare starts, under Mr. Rizwan Sarjan.
So how long were you with Filmfare Middle East?
I started
because I remember coming to all the award shows.
You were there, all the award
and
shows.
Rizwan is a very dear friend, a brother to me.
Yes.
And a great man, I must say. Very humble, great man, and what he has achieved in such a short time is something amazing, and he's a fantastic person.
Very passionate about it.
Very passionate, and I tell you, he is my idol.
In fact, Filmfare exists today because of his passion.
Yes.
It exists here today as a magazine and as a brand only because of Mr. Rizwan Sarjan's complete passion backing the project.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you look at magazines today, if you look at the media today, everything is crumbling.
Yes.
But here is this big force behind this brand, which is why it exists.
And he's not going to let it die.
No. He'll keep it. It's going to stay. As long as
he's there, I think he's going to stay.
The magazine would
Yeah. So tell me, after that, what happened? Post, you were with Middle East, and then after that?
Yes, 2022. Yeah, 2022. I had come to meet. In 2021, I came to see you.
Yes.
Which was in June.
That's when Rizwan told you to go and interview
you.
For an article in Filmfare. Yeah.
So I came to interview you, and I realized that 1,200 words will not justify your life. And there's so many beautiful pictures and everything. And I said, this must be archived. And that's when, end of the interview, I think we had a very long conversation. And he said that I think I can talk to you. And I think then the book happened.
Yes.
And you said, will you write my book? I said, okay. And then I don't know.
No. You said you should write a book.
Yes.
I remember you should write a book. I said, a lot of people have told me that, but I can't sit down to get to know it because I cannot sit down and write and have the patience to write. So I need somebody to do it for me. So he said, I'll do it for you. I said, if you promise to do it for me, something clicked, and I said, maybe you're the person which was meant to write this book, and that's how the book happened.
Yes. So, and it was again just a shot in the dark because we didn't know how it would go.
Yeah.
Recordings, voice. I mean, my entire phone is full of those.
Yes, and I remember that the albums which my mother left me, about 20 odd albums of the photographs from 1940 to nearly 100 years. And she had archived it and put it in albums which were. The leaves were falling apart, but they were intact. And she had typed out the...
Yes, even that one beautiful picture, it says before marriage.
Typed out on a typewriter and cut out and stuck.
Yeah.
And those were that's a legacy.
Also, it also talks about enterprising woman who was from the printing industry.
Yes.
So that was the example of her.
Yes, she was an absolute perfectionist. That was the legacy which was passed on to me, and I didn't know what to do with it. So this just happened, and destiny happened, and these photographs which we digitized. The amount of time this Kamal, who our family photographer, took and digitized it and brought it out.
Because we went to one of the press people and they charged a huge
amount. And Kamal said, I'll do it. And it took him a couple of months to do it, but he did it and we've archived it. And that's only 50% of what we put in the book. Put in the book. There's a lot more.
Yeah.
But we all as a team did a great job. I think Josefa was there.
Yeah.
He did the editing. And then Danish was there. And all this, the whole team came together as a family, and we used to sit at home and have lunch and tea and coffee, and we had great fun doing it.
And sometimes your poker friends would be there. Sitting in the back.
Absolutely. So it all happened and got together. I think it was a great
teamwork.
We went to so many places. We went to Sharjah to printing presses.
Yes. We went to Sharjah. We went to Abu Dhabi. Then we found Al Masal printing press, which was there. Then Madhavan came into our lives, and it all happened. Madhavan happened to be a Sai Baba Bhakt, and he said, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to charge you anything for it. The things just happened.
But I saw that energy at the launch Palm for the first time. I didn't expect it to be that big, and the way you were like sitting with every department and detailing was next level. I was shocked. Like in the afternoon in the heat, he was sitting, and then in the evening, what happened was, I'm not saying because I'm part of this podcast and this book, but that evening was magical.
Yeah.
That evening, yes,
it was very good.
Magical.
Very good.
But Gaggan, I'm basically, even when I plan my parties, you've been to all of them, is I go into detailing right from the time somebody enters, how they will come, what they will be, where they will be, how the serving is, the bartender, and everything is planned out. This was a huge event, which over 400 people.
Yeah.
And we had so many challenges while doing this, and I think I used to phone you up, and we used to meet practically every day with our team of Tehzeeb and Vibhuti and the rest of the team. We were about 10, 12 of us, and we would meet at Coco.
Rida was there.
Rida was there. And we would sit down and insist, okay, Gaggan, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. How are people going to come? Because it was a challenge, because coming into Coco Bay in West Palm Beach is a challenge, because there's only one lane. And I said, if 400 people are coming, and it's an outdoor. The challenge was the outdoor part, because there was the beach empty, and next to Coco Bay, and we had to get permission from Dubai Holdings. And Ajit Mehra, who is my school friend who owns Coco Bay, had to get permission, and unfortunately, he is suffering from cancer, and he was going through his chemotherapy, and his son Nikhil was there, and it was, I don't know how it is. And then suddenly we got the permission to have the launch event at the open beach. And one day before, they said, we cannot give you the permission. One day before the launch, when the invitations had gone out, invites, and I was in, and then I called up Ajit, he was in Cleveland Clinic in Abu Dhabi, and he called up, Nikhil got after, they talked to Dubai Holdings, what is this? And, they asked for an enormous sum of money. And then Ajit talked to them, we brought it down, but we did pay something for that couple of hours party in the evening. And then Rida did a fantastic job. What a job she did. She did an amazing job, absolutely, and converted that whole place into a magical evening which happened and started. And the best part of it was supposed to start, I think, at about 4:30.
Okay, afternoon. Yeah.
4:35. So to get them on a Saturday at 4:35 was something else. And I called up Manju, everybody who was invited. Because for me, my habit is to call everybody individually. So I called up, I made those 200, 300 phone calls. And I told them, and I put even a slip in the invite saying that please leave an hour before your normal traffic time because of the traffic, and then the parking was an issue. The parking was not enough because you have 200-300 cars. So I had valet parking, I had done this, I had people getting down, how they would come, especially people who were challenged to walk that much, to come, planned everything to a T. And till the last day, and the day of the launch, I was there till like 1:30 in the afternoon, and 4:30 I had to be there.
I know, you hardly slept.
I hardly slept, and all this was planned out, and eventually it turned out to be, I think, a very
great event.
I think nothing.
But the fact is,
there wasn't an event.
Yourself get involved.
Yeah, there wasn't an event I think Dubai has ever seen before
with that backdrop.
With that backdrop of the beach, which happened, I think.
And the book as the entry.
Yeah, that was absolutely magical and fantastic.
Even what happened with Bombay also, quickly I would want to say that the date and the venue which happened at Leela, that is not a normal thing.
That is not normal.
Yeah.
I wanted to, then it was just a gap of, I think, 8th of Feb to the 1st of March.
Right.
So we had only a few weeks to do the launch, and then I got, of course, Dinesh Nair, who owns the Leela, and he said that you cannot do the launch anywhere else, you have to do it in my hotel. And 28th Feb was my mother's birthday, 103rd birthday, and we couldn't get the hall on 28th, we got it on the 1st. And after 28 years, on my 50th birthday, I had celebrated there with my mother and a host of celebrities like Sunil Dutt, Shatrughan Sinha, Mukesh Ambani, Kapil Dev, and Nagarjun. Everybody was there, and it's all documented. And 28 years after my mother's death, I had the party at the same ballroom, in the same spot, at the same place, which was, I think,
magical.
It was magical.
Yeah.
Now another thing is that I left Dubai on the 24th of Feb, and the launch was on the 1st of March.
Yeah, just
and all of you were coming in, and I had no idea about. It was like playing blind and flush.
Yeah.
You bet your blindness, dekha jayega. Played blind.
And everything worked.
And I met the event guy for the first time. Yes. Now he happened to be known because there's a friend of mine, Aditya Motwani, who's a very big event manager, one of the biggest in India. I told him, he said, "Uncle, don't worry, it'll be all done. I'm giving you this man, Nimitesh Mathur, who will do everything where I'm traveling, and he will handle everything." I said, "PR, who's going to do the PR?" So he said, "I will get you the PR." This Parul Chawla came into the picture, and I had never met her before. Then came Vibhuti, who was the videographer and the photographer. I had met her for about 10 minutes at a wedding I had gone to in Qatar of a friend's daughter. And I saw what she did in one day and showed, and I said, "You are the person who's going to handle it," and that was it. So this, and then the press, media, everything. So when I met them on the 24th and 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, I had 4 sittings with them, all of them, every day for a couple of hours. And today they are all part of a family. You know, like Parul speaks to me every day, Vibhuti and Nimitesh. And then Nimitesh turned out to be associated with Shashi and Anuranjan for the IT awards right from 2000, where I'm associated with them. So I'm a part of that IT award. So when Shashi got to know that Nimitesh is doing it, he called Nimitesh and thrashed him out, and he said, "This is my brother, you've got to do it for him." So it all became so personal, and then Parul became so close. And she is, I think, such a wonderful person. You met her, and she is one of the most influential PR going around in Bombay today. And she picked up the phone and fixed up interview. There were 65 journalists that day at the launch. You saw that.
And over the last 4 days.
There were crowds of journalists standing there, and I was amazed. I said, "This looks like a Bollywood premiere or something like that." I think nothing like that, short of that.
Some of them you know.
And some of them I know, like Jyoti Venkatesh with this
Then there's
Parag Chapekar, and one more person, I forget him. These are old people.
Ujjwal Trivedi, Ujjwal was also
Yeah,
there.
Ujjwal was there. And these people are old time when I was doing my Bollywood stint on those 10 years. And they all came together. And then another thing which struck me, I sent the invites out because they were all printed invites. I said, "I've been out of circulation in Bombay for 25 years. I don't know how my friends are going to respond with a gap of 25. Of course, I was in touch with them. And I called them up, of course, personally and everybody. And I was absolutely pleasantly shocked to see that they came on time. And Anupam Kher walked in at 7:15. He had to hear the flight at 10 o'clock. He came in. Priya came in. Priya Dutt came in. She had a wedding to go to. And to top it all, while Anupam was speaking, Mr. Shatrughan Sinha walks in at sharp 8 o'clock. Where
Never in the history.
Anupam stopped talking. And he said, "You know, Rajan, I have never seen Mr. Shatrughan Sinha come to a function at 8 o'clock. And he must be loving you a lot to come on time." And then Jitendra walks in, and Rakesh Roshan, Shashi, and Ranjit, Goli, and all the others who came, Poonam Dhillon, Shekhar Suman, all the others who came, and all friends of mine. But my friends from the first standard were there. And then from college, they were there. From my post-college days, working, business, my film stint, they all were there. For it was an absolute like a school reunion, and it was not spectacular like Dubai, but I think it was a very warm, intimate, emotional evening. What do you have to say about
100%. The love and warmth, and all these people are not easy people to deal with, because I have done many shows in my life, and their body language was completely different when they were on stage. It was like family function going on. And Shatru sir spoke from his heart that day.
He spoke for 45 minutes.
He was in
he spoke for 40 years in element.
His humor was too good that day. He was in some different...
something else. So it all turned out to be well. And then to top it all, Dinesh Nair, the hotel,
Leela.
he arranged for us. I had about 10-15 rooms booked. And it's a 5-star hotel.
That's beautiful.
And I told him, I said, when the bill came, when the settlement, I was amazed. I said, "No, there's something wrong with this bill. It's not right." He said, "No, sir, we are going to charge you only 3,000 rupees per room." It was 3,000 or 6,000 rupees per room. Suites. I was shocked out of my mind. And Dinesh, on those 4 days, was personally involved. He used to come there on his feet. Where is this red carpet going to be? Where is the table going to be? Set up the table, show me the sample of the table. Now, menu. He says, "Leave the menu to me." Now, Jamawar is very famous. So, Jamawar and the Great Wall, Chinese. He said, you leave the menu to me. I left the menu to him. He decided the place of the menu, the food. It was one of the most spectacular layouts. He must have had about 60 dishes.
Yeah.
And there was a separate dessert room, if you remember. They had about 40 or 45 desserts. And I was amazed. I said, Dinesh, ye kya kiya tumne? Kehta, yaar, you're my close friend. And this is your day.
Love.
And I wanted to make it grand for you.
Beautiful.
And I was absolutely speechless. And he did an amazing job. And I don't want to tell you what he charged me for the food and especially the liquor, but it was absolutely below at cost.
Wow.
And I was absolutely amazed at what he did for me. And I have to thank Dinesh and Madhu for whatever they did for me on that day. And that is so touching for me. And I just feel that today that whatever I've done in life, ultimately we all earn money, we all have this, with that, but my real wealth is the friends that I have and have kept up with from way back. And that is something that showed that day on that day.
Because you've also been that friend.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
And the point is that you call everyone personally.
And that is something
in today's world, everyone is on WhatsApp.
So WhatsApp, aane ka to aane, you know what.
Right.
But even in my parties, I call up everybody personally and call them. And that's the warmth that you have and the closeness that you have.
And the respect.
And that's what you, basically what you earned in life, and that's what you talk about.
True.
So to end this lovely conversation, how would you sum this all up, Gaggan, with everything that you've seen, and what are your plans, and what is your what is going forward? What is it that...
What we have learned from you, I have especially, is that one should never give up and do things your own way and never leave your passion. So as I told you that this is my religion and I work hard, I think about it all the time. वो एक रज़ाक खान told me one line once कि इसी कमरे में चाबी गिरी है तो यहीं से मिलेगी और कहीं ढूंढने की जरूरत नहीं है.
सही बात है.
So अर्जुन की ने जैसे वो आँख देखी थी मछली की वही है. So एम और एरो लगेगा किसी दिन तो.
बिल्कुल लगेगा. And I am hoping that I am a part of that journey going forward for you.
100%.
I think we are in the stages of planning a documentary which might happen with Ramanan Singh. We're planning to have that. So we might do a documentary, and Gaggan is going to be an important part of that also. So that's in the making,
100%.
seeing what will happen. And we're going in for an Audible now. The book is on Kindle already on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing an Audible which will start from next week, and the book will be available on Audible. So hopefully going forward, if the documentary happens, and then who knows, you let it out, who knows what it leads to and what it does. But you've been a very important part of my life and journey, and continue. And if I ever get a chance to be a part of making another film, which I don't know, I would definitely see that, Gaggan, you're a part of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for coming and sparing your time, Manju. And thank you so much for coming. And I think after the release of the book, you found a newfound fame, popularity, and going forward, I think you are in the process of writing another book, which I don't want to talk about now, but you have another assignment which you're going to do. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
And you, I think, have finally found your niche where you want to be.
And you know who pushed me to it.
I know who pushed you to it.
Lovely.
And I've been a part of his journey, and I will continue to be a part of his journey, because he deserves a lot more than where he is and what he's achieved, but he needs to be in another place. And I have a dream for him to be somewhere else. And I was responsible for Anupam Kher to get Saransh, right? And I've been responsible for a lot of other people who have talked about it, for being where they are today. I think one of the things before I do anything else is I would like to see you on the big screen.
Inshallah.
And I hope that happens, and I'm sure it'll happen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.